Good morning. I hope you're all enjoying your breakfast. I was wondering, are Mike and Darren here from, okay, perfect timing. I'm gonna invite Mike and Darren up from Cortec to announce the winner of the trip to Mexico.
Who's gonna actually do the draw? Huh? I'll get Darren to do it? Yep. Okay, you can pick the names, okay? Good morning. I have a few comments, but I'll keep it brief. First of all, I'd like to thank SARM for inviting us back here again this year. The breakfast last year in Regina was exceptional. We got to know a lot of people. I would really like to thank Amy and her team that organized this convention. We've been working with Amy for a few years now, and as soon as this one's done, I'm going to hear from her, and we're going to start planning for the midterm convention, and then, of course, next year's spring convention. I'd like to briefly introduce the owner of our company, Al Krasinski. He's sitting over there. Al, you guys stand up for a second. Al was born and raised in Hubbard, Saskatchewan, and spent a lot of time in the field doing all sorts of things, engineering, surveying, oil field stuff, and he founded Ward Chemical 40 years ago, actually this year. Al's son Jerry is here. Jerry is responsible for setting up our distribution network through Cortec so that we can get our products out to our customers efficiently and effectively. Al's brother Tim is also sitting there. Lots of you people know who Tim is. Tim Krasinski, he lives in Saskatoon here, and he helps out our group in Saskatchewan to make sure that our safety is in order, we have quality control, and we have quality assurance with respect to our products. So Tim, say hi. Finally, I'd like to introduce Darren. This is Darren Steeney and his wife Tina. They have Triple S Transport Green Earth Road Spray based out of Shellbrook. We became partners with them about 7 years ago, and in those 7 years, we've really managed to reach out to as many people as we can in Saskatchewan to help them with any needs that they might have on their gravel roads. Between our two companies, we are employing roughly at any given time 2,000 people in Western Canada. Our products are produced in Western Canada and distributed in Western Canada, and we believe that they provide great value to our customers. So without further ado, Darren, we have this trip to Mexico that we're going to give away. Amy and her group have got all your names in there, and the trip to Mexico, it includes flights, all-inclusive stay at a resort. Dina, who works with us, will organize all that, and including a fishing trip and a sunset cruise and maybe even a trip to the private island somewhere. So Darren, it's up to you, buddy. Go ahead. All right. I forgot my glasses. All right, I got it. So the winner is from RM number 461. Where's that? That's up north somewhere. Up by us, yeah. Up in the things in that area, I'm not sure. And the winner is Robin Fremont. Do we have a Robin Fremont here? Uh-oh. You're supposed to be here to win. That's what Amy told me. Robin Fremont's not here? Amy? All right. What's that? Okay. Well, our winner is not here, Amy, so we're going to do another draw, okay? All right. With your approval? All right, Darren, do her again. Oh. What? Okay. We redrew here. And, okay, RM number, what number is that? It's 494, so up in the north again. Levi Shute. All right. What's that? Okay. RM 494 is the RM of Canwood. Congratulations, Levi. And then, yeah, come up and get a picture. Along with the trip to Mexico, he gets a fancy suitcase as well. All right. We also have, how many do we have down there? We have three nice deckled backpacks with prizes in them. So Darren, we got to do 3 more draws. But, congratulations. Thank you. Yeah. Have fun. Okay, let's do the next one. So the backpack draws, the first one is Eugene Eggerman from RM 368. And Daryl Pollard from RM 466. And the last but not least, Scott Sailhoff from RM 281. So if you're here, please come get your prize, and if you're not, then we'll do another draw. Are they all here or no? You're one of them? Okay. I'm not sure who he is. We'll figure it out. Who are you? Daryl. You're Daryl? Okay. Okay, so do we have Scott or Eugene here? Okay. Okay, sorry. Last call for Scott. If Scott's not here, we're going to redraw. Okay, let's just do another one. Thanks. RM number 318, Kelly Cutler. No? Kelly Cutler? No? Okay, let's do another one. There's lots of people here, I'm surprised. Okay, RM number 185, Andrew Waldbauer. No? All right, one more. RM number 155, Rose Zimmer. Finally. You know, when I was going to university, I used to be a bingo caller to pay my way through school, and this reminds me of waiting for somebody to win the bonanza. Anyway, thank you very much, people. Thank you for having us.
All right, continue enjoying your breakfast, visiting. We're going to get started in about 15 minutes with words from the SARM president and vice president. Thank you. All right, folks, we're going to get started in about 4 minutes. So top up your coffee, get to your seats, and we'll start shortly. Thank you. All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to get things started with a word from SARM President and Vice President. As mentioned on Tuesday, we congratulated many SARM board members who were acclaimed for the next 2 years, including President Bill Huber and Vice President Darren Steinley. So I would like to invite Vice President Darren Steinley up to share a few words.
Thank you, Sabine. You caught me a little off guard. I thought the president would go first, so. Okay. Well, thank you for trusting me to be your vice president. It's nothing I take lightly. I'm humbled by this, and I pledge to work very hard for you. So I'll tell you a little bit about Darren Steinley. Me and my brother ranch at Rush Lake, Saskatchewan, I guess with my wife too. We raise polled Hereford cows, so don't take that against me too much, all you Black Angus people, but we do buy black bulls, breed them F1, and try and sell the heifers as replacement seed stock. So that's kind of kind of what our ranch does. So I'm married to Michelle. She's works at Ag Canada. She's a research technician there doing computer work. We have 2 boys. Andrew's completing his ag degree here at Saskatchewan or U of S. He doesn't have a job yet, so plug if anybody's looking for an ag degree worker out there, shameless plug, so hopefully he finds one. My other son, Noah, is gonna get his actuarial science degree from the U of R, and he played football with the Regina Thunder for 5 years, and that's come to an end for him now, but he's gonna start coaching that as well. So that's a little bit about Darren and my family. So some of my I guess I should do some thank yous too. So Kevin probably can't hear this. He's not here. That's the brother. He does a lot of the chores when I'm gone at SARM things. And I could not do what I do for SARM and the province without him at home feeding cows and looking after the daily chores. So he's never going to hear it, but maybe our local RM can say thank you to him or tell him I said thank you. So give him a round. I'd also like to thank our local RM. I've been on the SARM board for a year now. I think I've changed 8 of the 12 meeting dates, so I appreciate that. Every SARM board member can understand how difficult that is or how it is. So guys, I appreciate it, especially to our administrator, Diane. She always makes us a nice snack and for our meetings, and I've taken that off her plate every time I change a meeting and make her do the extra work. I make a pretty mean puffed wheat cake, so you guys better be ready for next week. So that'll be good. So thank you for that, Diane. And I also like to thank Michelle. Her staying home, it's not always easy for the spouse to stay at home and look after the home too. This week, if anybody cares, our dog got into some hay, ate some foxtail, a little bit of Russian thistle. So that was about a $600 or $700 vet bill to sedate him to get it out. So there's always something going on at home, so I'd like to thank those people. So some priorities for me at SARM. A big one is healthcare. Rural Saskatchewan, all of Saskatchewan. I've heard a lot of stories this week about people in beds, people in the hallways. There's a lot of work there to do with the province, and I want to work with them to try and help it get more care into Saskatchewan. Blair made a great comment about getting more doctor seats the other day, and hopefully we can work more with them to get more doctors, more EMTs, more nurses in the nurse practitioner program. It's a basic right for all of us, and it's just something we have to work with the province to do. Expanding ag markets. I'm not going to talk about tariffs a whole bunch today. We've talked about tariffs a lot. I've always been a big proponent of expanding ag markets. We need to find new markets for our lentils, our peas, our beef, our chickens, our hogs. So, you know, when you expand those markets and you grow that, the tariffs don't become quite as important, or I shouldn't say important, but you can buffer them a little bit. Infrastructure. We have a lot of bridges and a lot of roads, and we haul a lot of product that makes this province a lot of money. We need to maintain these roads, improve these roads and bridges, and keep that going so we can haul our products to market. So we'll work on the RIG program, we'll work on other infrastructure programs, and that's very important to me. The last one I have on here is crime and punishment. We've talked about this at the convention already as well. We have a problem with fentanyl, with other drugs that's plugging up our healthcare system, and we need to make sure people who are responsible for this are held to account. And I will hold our provincial and federal people to account to help make this change. So those are some of the things SARM and myself will be lobbying for. I'd just like to close with, I am open and approachable. I always return phone calls, and I accept this position with humility and grace. And I like to work together. We are stronger together. God bless Saskatchewan, and thank you.
Thanks, Darren. Sorry for catching you off guard. Just, it's the last day of convention, keeping everyone on their toes, and it was a last-minute switch. So next, I'd like to invite President Bill Huber up to share a few words.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Reeves, councillors, administrators, and special guests. It's quite an honor to go into this role as president of this great organization. I'm passionate about SARM. I always have been. It's a great organization, and we work very hard for our members. And you are the backbone of this province, every one of you. We've got an excellent staff in our office in Regina. We've got a new building that's, you're going to hear a little bit about that in Laurel's presentation a little later on. I've got an excellent board to work with, and I've been very supportive of the whole group for many, many years. It's about 9 years ago, right now, that I first got on the SARM board and joined the team. And I was at a Regina meeting, and I was asked to run for Division 1 director, and I really didn't think I really wanted to move up into political life. I'd served many years on many livestock boards and different things throughout the province, and was on a board that built an inland terminal at Belcaris, and I was about ready to stay home. But first of all, I want to thank my wife and my family for the support I've had over the years. She's kind of been the glue that kept the farm together most of the time. I've got two sons. I got three sons, actually, but two of them took over the farm about 10 years ago. My oldest son lives in Calgary, and he's worked in the airline industry for many, many years. And two of my middle sons, the two of them, the middle one and the younger one, have taken over the farming operation. And when I'm home, I do help quite a bit. I still run combines, do a lot of the spraying. Totally involved in the agriculture industry. I've grown up in it, I love it, and I'll work for the betterment of agriculture in this province as long as I'm involved with SARM. I got a daughter that's a registered nurse, and I'll just tell you a funny story about my daughter. She lives in Cupar, the arm of Cupar now, her and her husband, two little ones. And they were living in Regina when I first decided to run for a SARM director. So I phoned in and I said, I'm going to run for SARM director. I need you to help me write a speech tonight. She said, have you talked to Mom? I said, yeah. She said, what does Mom say about you running? And I said, well, she said, you're going to do what you want to do anyway. So I went over to her house, and she helped me with the speech, and I won the election, and I've been on the SARM board ever since. And now Bob Moulding, it represents Division 1, so pretty proud of all that. And then 4 years ago, I moved up to vice president under the direction of the leadership of Ray Orb, and Jay Meyer was our executive director, and I enjoyed those 4 years. And then we knew Ray was stepping down. He told us probably 6 months or a year before he actually stepped down. We knew Jay was going to announce his retirement. So I've moved into a role as a new president of your organization. We've got a new leader at the executive level, Laurel Felton. So it's some big changes. And I think they're good changes. Not that we wanted to see Jay or Ray go, but I think Laurel is the capable one that's along with her staff and her team to lead this organization forward for many, many years. And I'll be there to help. I'm passionate about rural Saskatchewan. I'm passionate about agriculture, healthcare, and all the things that are so important to this nation or this province. Some of the things that we've done in the past and that I want to continue to work with is the four pillars of our organization that we really care about. That's agriculture, healthcare, infrastructure, policing, and rural crime. And we continually advocate for those things. When I assumed the role of acting president back in mid-August after Ray stepped back, the first thing that happened the next day was a threat of a rail strike with CP, KC, and CN. So I thought, well, this is a great way to start my tenure as acting president and hopefully moving up to be president. So I made several phone calls to officials with CN and CP, different ministers in Ottawa and provincial leaders, talked to Scott Brown, head of CN in Saskatchewan, and Mike Delvecchio from CP Rail. And thankfully, that strike was averted. It was only days later that we had threats of grain handlers on strike in Vancouver Port Terminal. So thankfully, that was averted, because this was all happening right during harvest time, or pre-harvest, mid-August. So those were concerning things to our economy and our province and our agriculture industry. Then we had the postal strike. Well, that did really happen. It became a reality. They walked off the job. They were on strike for more than a month, and it was just before Christmas, which was possibly the worst time of the year to have a strike. But anyway, they finally settled part of that somewhat and went back to work. Then we had our provincial election, and we got the Conservative parties back in power, and they've got a new cabinet, and I've met pretty near every one of the new cabinet ministers, and I think the Premier's done a super job of selecting his cabinet. We got a great team to work with, along with some of the other caucus members, and I look forward to that relationship going forward for the next 3 years. And then the U.S. election, and I think most of us in this room can say that we were all pretty happy with the election of Donald Trump, and we knew the Biden administration wasn't doing what we wanted for the betterment not only our economy in Canada, but globally. But since he's been elected and Inauguration Day came, and he used the word tariff before he even was inaugurated, that it was the best word in the dictionary, and we're dealing with that now. And I gotta say, I mentioned it a couple of days ago at the podium here, that we really don't know what to do. I'm a firm believer in cool minds and level heads will prevail. There's no use pushing back in my mind, but we do want to reach out to each and every one of you for your input on this too, because we're committed to work with the provincial government, the feds, and to make this thing, resolve this issue. We were fortunate to have a meeting yesterday after the Bear Pit with the Premier and 4 cabinet ministers, and they're looking on our support to help them, and we're going to follow their role. But if there's anything you folks want changed or want us to do or speak up for you, certainly reach out to our executive, our team in the office, because we're there for you. We've had Daryl Harrison, the Minister of Agriculture, called me a couple of days ago and wanted to know if I'd phone Minister McCauley, the Federal Minister of Agriculture in Ottawa. I did that. I've met Minister McCauley on 3 different occasions on our lobby trips in Ottawa. And I find him a very nice gentleman, but we find that we don't get much done. He doesn't listen to our asks. He's very polite and cooperative, but he never delivers on anything that we're really asking for. But I did call him, and his exact words were to me, we got to look after all of Canada. I said this tariff, or this tariff on canola to China is probably worse than the U.S. tariff threat. And I asked him if they could probably think about removing the tariff on electric vehicles from China coming to Canada. And he says, well, Bill, we got to look after all of Canada. And I said, well, I think it's Western Canada's turn. Maybe we should be doing something to help us out here. But So Daryl and I talked a little bit later, an hour or so later, and that's about basically exactly what he told Minister Harrison. So I had the opportunity to phone Minister McCauley back the next day. He invited me to phone him and see what he could do, but I didn't bother, because Minister Merritt was sitting at the table in the office room when I was talking to Minister McCauley, and he said, it's great you're trying, but I think you're just wasting your time. So I thought we'd try and do more work with our provincial leaders and our provincial government and our ministers here to do what we can for you and all of Saskatchewan and all of Canada, because it's not a good situation. We're in a real big mess. So I've been working with different things and different organizations. I don't know how many media interviews I've done in the past couple of days, but we're still we're very hopeful that things are going to be resolved in the months ahead, or the weeks hopefully ahead. I know the Premier is, and his cabinet and caucus, and I got to appreciate, and the Premier was in Houston just the day before the Bear Pit. So I think we're going to support them. He reached out to me yesterday and said, you know, if I say this, are you going to back us on it? Are you going to help us? And we're there to support them. If there's something they're going to do that we don't like, we'll certainly tell them. And we're going to take direction from you. So I look forward to the next 3 years of working with you, our staff, our board. And I think it'll be a great pleasure and it's a great honor. So don't be shy. You have my phone number. It's on the internet. I got business cards that I never carry, but I have them someplace. And just reach out to any one of us at any time. Darren's there, our vice president, to help. And we're here for you and here to serve and work with you to make this a better place. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much, Bill. Now they should start popping up on the screen. On each side of the stage, you're going to see a list of rooms and division meetings. There we go. So take a moment, see where you need to go. You can top up your coffee and then make your way to where your division meetings are going to be held, and we will reconvene back here at 10:45. Thank you. All right, thank you so much. Welcome back. I know some of you are continuing to stream back in here, but we're going to keep things going. And we do have the SARM Challenge winners and the Stars Air Ambulance 50-50 to draw, so that'll be coming up shortly. But first, I would like to welcome Laurel Felton, Executive Director, to present the SARM Financial Report. Laurel?
Good afternoon, morning. Still morning, right? Good morning, everyone. Today I'm happy to be providing my very first financial report here at the SARM Convention. And I do have some folks that are going to join me and help answer any questions you might have. We have a great team helping us in all the things we do, keeping our organization financially sound and succeeding into the future. So with me today, I have Sheila Filion, who's just coming up here in blue. She's the partner on SARM's audit. And we also have from CIBC Wood Gundy, Kevin Punchon is here as well. And he will be talking a little bit about our investment portfolio in a little bit here. We're also joined by Catherine Patterson, SARM's Director of Finance, so she's right here. And we have Colin Warnicki, SARM's Manager of Risk Management, here with us today. Thank you. We have a great team. So yes, please give them a round of applause. So this report today, unfortunately, is very dry, but it's very important that we share these numbers with you guys. So I'm happy to do that today. This report will highlight significant details or trends with respect to SARM's financial results for 2024. So I do have a slideshow here. I'll just throw it up quickly on the screen here. So the audited financial statements are now available on the SARM website. So again, if you're interested in looking at the finer details, I encourage you to go to our website under the About section and under Publications. You can take a look at the full report. And I'm happy to say that the audit has been completed and a clean audit opinion was issued by the SARM auditors, which is Virtus Group. So that's a very good news story to share. Oops, sorry. So SARM's financial statements actually have three components to them. The first one being the general fund accounts for SARM's day-to-day operations. This fund includes all of the contributions and resources which are not restricted for use by the insurance and benefit funds or by any of the programs that SARM administers on behalf of the provincial government. And then next, we have the insurance and benefits fund. All revenues and expenses related to the operation of the SARM benefits plan, the liability self-insurance plan, the fidelity bond plan, and the property insurance program are listed in that report. And lastly, we have the other funds. These are used to account for the externally restricted contributions and related to expenses for programs and initiatives administered by SARM. This includes a wide range of programs that are funded through external contributions by the provincial government, things like our RIG programs and our agricultural grants and support programs. This graph shows the general fund surplus each year from 2020 to 2024. As you can see, SARM has had a stable history of strong surpluses. In 2022, SARM did experience a deficit of $429,920, which was influenced by unrealized losses in the investment portfolio. In a few slides, we will be discussing our current portfolio. You will see consistent language during today's presentation on how investment income is a major influence on the financials of all of the SARM funds. A healthy surplus of $743,225 in 2024 was added to the fund balance, which is currently $9,672,101 as of December 31st, 2024. Now we're going to take a look at the 5-year history of the fund balance on the next slide. The fund balance represents the sum of SARM's general fund annual surpluses or deficits since the beginning of operations. You can see the darker bars on the graph, and those represent the fund balance. And you can see in the growth in SARM's general fund balance since 2020. The lighter color bars show the amount invested in capital assets, including SARM's office building. This balance, as you can see, is decreasing over time as the assets are amortized each year. At December 31st, 2024, the fund balance not invested in capital assets was $3,936,176. The history of strong financial results has ensured that SARM is in a good position to absorb a deficit year if another was to occur. Now, I would like to call up Kevin Punchon from CIBC Wood Gundy to give us a quick update and overview of SARM's portfolio performance. Kevin?
Thanks, Laurel, and good morning, everyone. Sounds like you've had another very successful convention. This morning, I'd like to talk about two items. One is the investment portfolio that we manage for SARM at CIBC Wood Gundy, and the second is just a quick overview of the SARM HISA program that we help implement for all of the RMs for money management on short-term money. The SARM portfolio currently is over $59 million. And I'm happy to report that it had the best performance last year in 23 years. The portfolio did 9.702% and has had now a 5-year average of just under or over 4.75% at 4.778. And this is attributed to primarily an asset allocation that is very conservative, but has a position in the equity markets as well. If we look at the portfolio, it's comprised right now of about 2% in cash, 56% in fixed income or bond type investments, and 38% in equities or stock investments. The final portion is 3.5% that's in structured notes, which are very conservative alternative type investment that give higher yields than regular bonds. This is essentially very much a pension type portfolio, which is balanced and has proven, as Laurel showed on the slide previous, where we had a down year a few years ago, we've now made that up and more in terms of performance. So with that, I should pause a moment and ask if there are any questions regarding the portfolio. And we're here, by the way, to, if you have any questions, direct them through SARM and we'll be happy to answer them. The next thing I'd like to briefly talk about is the SARM HISA program, which is the high interest savings program that we've talked about a few times up here over the years. We currently now have 55 RMs participating in the program. The program's over $105 million of short-term cash. That includes all of the RM's monies pooled as well as SARM's money. And each investment or account is held separately in the program. We pool the monies, though, to get a higher rate. And the current rate was 3.6%, but with the bank rate dropping this week, it's now 3.35%. And just to give you a comparative, our clients are in a similar program, but they're getting 2.55% because they're not allowed to pool their money like SARM is. So it's a very attractive program for short-term money management, and you can contact the SARM office, Brianna, to get set up in that program if there's any questions or you would like to get established in the program. So with that, I should again pause and ask if there's any questions on that, and then I'll turn the mic back to Laura. Great, thank you very much, and have a safe trip home, everyone.
Thank you for that, Kevin. Yes, we have great support when it comes to investments in high-interest savings accounts, so let us know if you have any questions. Next, I just want to touch on net revenues from SARM's member services. We're $960,434 in 2024. Through SARM's member services, we strive to provide our member municipalities with quality service and products at fair prices. Member purchasing provides a wide variety of products which have been tendered on our members' behalf at discounted prices through relationships with various partners. SARM coordinates insurance and benefits program through the external carriers, including excess liability insurance, extended health and dental benefits, long-term disability coverage, as well as both group and optional life insurance programs. About 50% of SARM's general expenses are for staff salaries and benefits. Salaries and staff expenses for the legal staff are not included in general expenses, but are included as part of member services or program expenses. Board and other advocacy and communications expenses represent 12.6% of the total general revenue. This category includes per diems and honorariums, but also travel expenses, reimbursements for meetings and travel expenses paid directly by SARM for our board to attend meetings both externally and internally. It also includes things like lobbyist fees and travel expenses for advocacy trips. Next, we have our insurance and benefit fund. So the following slides will provide additional information on the SARM benefits plan and the self-insurance plans. This slide shows the ratio of the types of claims paid by the SARM benefit plan over the last 5 years. In 2024, there were 1.5 million in disability claims, 209,000 in vision claims, and 100,000 in other claims. Claims have remained pretty consistent over the past 5 years, with a bit of a spike in 2021, which was the result of increased claims activity due to the pandemic lockdowns being reduced. This slide shows the claims paid by the SARM benefits plan as a percentage of premiums paid in each of the past 5 years. Claims costs are driven by higher salaries for individuals, but also in part due to an aging workforce. Overall, the plan's claims experience is within the range we have been experiencing over the past 8 years. The benefits plan fund balance saw a deficit of $126,494 in net income, offset by investment income of $606,167. Over the past 5 years, we have seen a growth of about 20.9% to the benefits plan fund balance. The fund balance of $5,913,674 at December 31st, 2024 for the SARM benefits plan is quite healthy, despite the dip due to the investment loss recorded in 2022. An actuarial study performed on the fund in 2024 by Aon showed that this fund is overcapitalized. We are addressing this by returning this additional value to the members in various ways, such as a rate reduction in 2025, as well as taking a look at what else we could offer our members in our programs. I would now like to call up Colin Warnicki, our Manager of Risk, to just talk about a new addition to these programs that we made this year. Colin?
Good morning. We partner with Saskatchewan Blue Cross to provide our extended health, dental, and long-term disability plans, as well as with our employee assistance program. But recently, just announced here a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I guess, we have also been able to partner with Cleveland Health. Cleveland Health provides virtual health care by connecting our members to a nurse practitioner virtually. And with that program, the nurse practitioner, as you as a member, you can log in, connect with this individual, talk to them about your situation as opposed to going to a doctor, because it might be an hour and a half to get to a doctor, and it might be hard to in fact, make an appointment to see your doctor in a timely fashion. So this is an option to meet with a nurse practitioner virtually, and they would be able to diagnose and provide prescriptions for you and send that to the pharmacy of your choice. So it's just a nice stopgap to help fill in the pressures that we're seeing with healthcare in rural Saskatchewan. like I said, that information was presented to the membership in the DART. However, next week, the administrators look for an email from Jody with all this information again. We'll send it out once again just so that you have it and so that everybody's aware of it, okay? Thank you.
So with all the talk about healthcare at this convention, I certainly know this isn't going to fix the problem. That's going to be a big effort on everyone's part. But I do think it's important for you guys to know that virtual options are available for you for doctoring now. So do keep an eye out for that email that Colin spoke about so that you guys can take advantage of this when you need it. So happy to share that. Next, this slide shows the claims expense incurred by the liability self-insurance plans over the past 5 years. The claims experience for the plan has been generally stable, but can fluctuate depending on the nature of the claims settled in any particular year. So in 2022, claims expense was $3,083,000 due to an incident that occurred in 2022. The plan will be exposed to a $3 million loss, and the maximum policy limit of $3 million was accrued for this claim. The plan, though, as you can see, is well positioned to absorb periodic large losses such as this, which is exactly the reasons it's set up the way it is. The annual operating deficits for the liability self-insurance plan, shown by the brown bars on the slide, exclude the investment income, which is allocated separately to the individual accounts. The investment income for the year is shown by the gray bars. Operating results include claims that have been paid along with accrued claims based on estimates of potential claim payments. In 2022, the plan had an investment loss of $686,531 and an operating deficit of $3,024,621 due to the accrual of the maximum potential loss. In 2024, the plan had investment income of $1,592,940 and an operating deficit of $176,880. The plan's fund balance is $14,211,119 at the end of 2024. Phew, we're getting through a lot of numbers here. Just bear with me. I'm getting to the end. Next, the fund balance is the collective total of the individual accounts held on behalf of the members who participate in the liability self-insurance program. While there have been operating losses in each of the past 5 years, the history of strong investment income has allowed the fund balance to increase each year. Although the fund balance was reduced by a substantial deficit recorded in 2022, the actuarial study performed by Aon in 2024 showed that the plan is comfortably capitalized. Thus, rates were held steady for 2025 term after 4 years of rate increases. So we're very happy to be able to offer that to our members. This slide shows the claims paid by the property self-insurance program as a percentage of premiums paid in each of the past 5 years. Property insurance claims tend to be very widely based on instances that happen in any given year. It is a relatively small program, so a couple of large claims can make a substantial difference. In 2022, there was an unusually large number of losses, as well as the largest single property loss that the plan has ever experienced. The annual operating surpluses or deficits shown for the property self-insurance program, as you can see by the brown bars on the slide, exclude the investment income, which is allocated separately to the individual accounts. You can see that in the gray bars on the slide. Operating results include claims that have been paid along with accrued claims based on estimates of potential claim payments. In 2024, the plan had an increase in claims expenses, resulting in an operating deficit of $398,738. This increase was due to an increase in large paid claims, which basically was 3 losses in excess of $100,000 were paid in 2024. And we also reserved an additional $1 million for 2024 claims that are expected to be paid out in 2025, compared to just over $400,000 in the previous year. The plan's fund balance was $6,191,877 at the end of 2024. The fund balance is the collective total of the individual accounts held on behalf of the members who participate in the property self-insurance program. The fund balance has grown 27.4% since 2020. The plan is well positioned to absorb a deficit year, such as was experienced in 2022. The actual study completed by Aon in 2024 showed that this program is comfortably capitalized with rates that are actuarially sound. Due to the strong financial position of the plan, a rate decrease was implemented for the 2025 year. We are also happy to be providing this to our members. The next slide shows claims paid by the Fidelity Bond self-insurance plan as a percentage of premiums paid in each of the past 5 years. Again, there is a potential for wide variations in the claims paid amounts for this plan, basically depending on, of course, the nature of the claims we receive. As this is a small plan, one large claim can again make a substantial difference. The Fidelity Bond self-insurance plan's fund balance, as shown in this graph, is healthy and growing. Small rate increases back to 2016 and 2017 set this plan on a much healthier trajectory, one that can better withstand a future policy limit loss of $200,000. Since 2020, we have seen a growth of 55.2% to the Fidelity Bond fund balance. Again, the actuarial study by Aon also gave this plan a clean bill of health in both terms of fund balance and its rate structure. Pursuant to various funding agreements with provincial government, SARM delivers a range of programs that are listed in this slide. They provide assistance to our members and which benefit rural Saskatchewan. Includes things like our Sustainable Canadian Agricultural Partnership programs, Rural Integrated Roads for Growth, and Communities in Transition Strategic Initiative programs. Total funding for the programs administered by SARM was just over $20.2 million in 2024. This includes all payments to RMs and suppliers of the programs. Oh, we're getting to the end. I think this is my last slide. Okay, let's talk a little about our beautiful SARM office building. So please, if you're in the city, stop by and visit us. So in 2014, SARM purchased land to build a new office on the east side of the city of Regina. In 2017, the SARM basically moved into the new office building on Windsor Park Road in Regina. Not far from, unfortunately, PV Mart's closing, but Princess Auto's not far. This building is for SARM's members and belongs to you. The total cost of the land purchase and building was $6,437,455. SARM financed $3,523 of the total cost for the office building by an internal loan from the SARM investment pool. The interest rate charged to SARM was an average of the rates for 3-, 5-, and 7-year bonds and was adjusted every 6 months. In November 2024, the remaining of the balance of the loan, you guys, was paid in full. Isn't that exciting? And the best part about this story is that was done before Ray and Jay officially left us. I guess Ray had just stepped out the door, but Jay was just on his way out. So that's a great news story for those guys that were involved in getting that building off the ground. So we are very proud of the place we call home and grateful for all the forward-thinking members to support such the investment, because you guys did contribute. That's why you should stop by if you're in town. If you have yet to come by, please do. It's your members' building. That concludes the financial report, and at this time I would ask members if they have any questions to please come to the microphone. I don't think I'm seeing anyone, so I'm going to ask, if there's no further discussion, I would like to ask members to move the report as presented. RM 63 would like to move it. I will call for the question. All in favor? All opposed? Just raise your hands. We don't have clickers. So all in favor? Let's go that. Okay. Opposed? Okay. Thank you very much for your patience. Have a good morning.
All right, thanks so much, Laurel. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to keep rolling with things here. And the next thing up is the SARM. We've got some scholarship presentations that we're going to do, and the Saskatchewan Municipal Awards as well. So every year, SARM and the Canadian Centre for Rural and Ag Health team up to award youth and municipalities, my goodness, with a scholarship grant. I would like to welcome Shelley Kerchuk, the Director of the Canadian Centre for Health and Safety in Agriculture, to the stage to award our winners.
Again, sorry, I'm taller than you. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for staying. It is a long 3 days, I'm telling you. I think we have slides. There we go. So many of you met me at the midterm convention where I spoke more about the larger vehicle that's behind our agricultural health and safety network called the Canadian Centre for Rural and Agricultural Health, and all the work that we do in rural Saskatchewan and across Canada for those who live and work in rural. So if you're interested, come find us to hear more about our research that takes place and how we move it into resources, programs, and supports. What I want to talk about today is our Agricultural Health and Safety Network. So thank you to the 134 people who attended our annual general meeting yesterday morning. It already seems like a long time ago. The 12 networks that are not, or the 12 rural municipalities that are not part of our network who attended to hear about it and I think are going to join. And the rest of you that are in white, really consider joining our Agricultural Health and Safety Network. We come out, we provide health screening programs for the farmers, we have resources, we do training in the schools for the kids on health and safety. There's just so much that we do for rural areas. It's a small amount. I think people think it's an APAS kind of amount, but it really isn't. $1,500 or less a year for registered nurses to come out to your community and provide, and teachers to provide the resources in the community. So come talk to us, or you'll see something in your mail in the not too distant future. So this is just an overview of some of the programming that we do in the rural municipalities across Saskatchewan. This is unique in the world, very unique in Canada, and something we are so proud to be part of. Over 35 years with rural municipalities in Saskatchewan providing health and safety resources and programming. So again, we move it from research to action. Our newest resource, and many of you were at our booth, is a mental health magnet. So when we were at Crop Production Show, I was really noticing that people were struggling to figure out what the resources are that are out there for mental health, so we put it all on one magnet. You can call our center to get some if you didn't pick them up during the trade show, but it's a magnet because sometimes people don't want to talk about it, but you can see that they're struggling. So go get a beer from their fridge and leave the magnet on their fridge when you leave. So what I want to award right now are our scholarships, and it's actually the SARM scholarships. So we auctioned off in 1995 the first copy of The Building of a Province commemorating the 90th anniversary of SARM, and the proceeds were put into our donor funds, and now annually we give out 2 scholarships. The scholarship winners have to write an essay, and I just want to say, particularly this year, that judges are blinded to who wrote the essays, and you'll know in a minute, you know, why, and that oil rises to the top. So our recipients this year are, sorry, I'll get it right, from the RM of Telemet, number 216, Regan Kiesig. I should know where Regan's going, and I'm forgetting. What are you going into? Okay, she's going into business at USAS, so look out for our next leader. Our second recipient is from the RM of Marcus 191, Zayden Anderson, and his dad, Derek, who's here for other reasons, will accept on his behalf. Sorry, I should have had that written down. He's going into ag business at USASC. So our next award is called the Ike Thiessen Building a Foundation Award. Many of you have seen this in prior years. It's to those individuals in SARM and outside of SARM who have really helped the center and the Agricultural Health and Safety Network build. And they've been there for us through and through. We actually took the bricks when they were taking down the Corman Park RM building. We took their bricks, and now we use them for the award. And Kendra's going to say a wee bit, but I think good friends are one of life's many blessings. And the recipient of this year's award has been not only an exceptional leader for Saskatchewan and our Agricultural Health and Safety Network, but he really has become a true friend.
Thanks, Shelley. Good morning, SARM delegates. My name is Kendra Omer, and I'm the current manager of the Agriculture Health and Safety Network, and very honored today to present the Ike Thiessen Building a Foundation Award. The inaugural Ike Thiessen Building a Foundation Award was presented in March 2020 to SARM, recognizing their fundamental role they played in helping grow and enhance the activities of the Agriculture Health and Safety Network. Ike Thiessen was a farmer in rural Saskatchewan from the RM of 373, Aberdeen, and the president of SARM from 1986 to 88. Ike was instrumental in recruiting the first RMs in 1988 to join the network, setting the foundation for future growth. This award is given annually in recognition of the support and dedication to the Ag Health and Safety Network for helping us further our mission and build a foundation for health and safety in agriculture in Saskatchewan. We would like to announce this year's Ike Thiessen Building a Foundation Award to Ray Orb. Ray has served on the SARM board for over 20 years and was elected as president of SARM in 2014. In addition, he has served as a counselor in Reeve in the RM of QPAR starting in 1985. This award is in recognition of Ray's exceptional support, dedication, and contribution to promoting health and safety in agriculture for Saskatchewan people. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working with Ray, and as he has demonstrated instrumental partnering and advocating the value and impact of the center's activities to other researchers, farmers, RMs, and government. We have worked together on preparing letters of support for research projects and attending funding proposal meetings with government together over the years. Ray recently highlighted the significance of the center's relationship with RMs, emphasizing the distinctive relationship between researchers and community. Ray used the phrase, "the center's had our back" here in Saskatchewan, and I would like to turn that around and also acknowledge that we are very grateful for Ray's contributions over the years with our center, and say, Ray, yourself, your leadership with SARM, and our unique connection with rural municipalities through the Ag Health and Safety Network in this province has had our back also. Thank you. Please come forward to accept the award.
rural municipality. That direct contact between the researchers and our members, I think, is kind of unique because I don't think that happens very much around the countryside as much as it happens with the center itself.
Sorry, that's part of the video that Ray helped to produce for the for our center.
Wow, this is really great. I'd just like to thank Shelley and Kendra a lot, and the center, of course, and the Ag Health and Safety Network for giving me this presentation. I just want to recognize my wife Val and son Jared are in the crowd, and actually there's a little bit of a link between the center and my son, because my son was working for a farm service center in Cupar, and came in contact with some really toxic chemicals, and because the building wasn't designed properly, he has suffered some adverse effects temporarily. So my wife set up a consult with the center, and one of the nurses from the center at the time spoke to him, and of course he recovered immediately when he found out he had to go back to work the next day. But ever since then, I think I had a real soft spot for the center. I realized what they can do, and I realized if they can help my son, they can help the entire province. All the people that live in the rural municipalities can get help from the center and the network. They simply have to, they should belong to the network, and I would encourage, if your RM does not belong to the center, or to the network rather, you should do so, and talk to Shelley or Kendra or some of the other staff, and they'll help you do that. But I really appreciate this. This is a very prestigious award. I remember Ike Thiessen. When I started coming to SARM conventions, Ike was the president, so that takes us back a long time. He was very articulate, and he was really good for this province. So thanks again. I really appreciate this.
All right, thanks so much. We're going to keep going here with some of the award presentations now. The Saskatchewan Municipal Awards Program is a partnership between SARM, SUMA, the Ministry of Government Relations, RMAA, the Urban Municipal Administrators Association of Saskatchewan, and New North. It's an opportunity to celebrate innovation and excellence in rural Saskatchewan today, surrounded by colleagues and peers. There were 4 winning projects for the 18th SMAs, and we are excited to present the winning rural municipalities with their awards today. I just ask if we could get the winners to meet together in the convention office, which is just out this way, at the conclusion of the award ceremony to receive their award and have your photos taken. That would be greatly appreciated. Urban municipalities will receive their awards in April at the SUMA convention. So for the 18th Saskatchewan Municipal Awards, the selection committee was made up of, please forgive me if I mispronounce your name, Malcolm Eaton, former mayor of Humboldt and former vice president of Cities for SUMA, Wendy Gowda, municipal advisor, former administrator for the RM of Leroy number 339 and past president of RMAA, Keith Comstock, executive in residence at the Johnson Shoyama School of Public Policy, Harvey Milanowicz, Reeve of RM of Sliding Hills, number 273, and former SARM board member. Christine Dick, former administrator for the RM of Lost River, number 313, and the town of Allen. And Jim Toye, former city manager for the city of Prince Albert. We appreciate the time and effort these individuals have taken to help us celebrate local governments in Saskatchewan. Now, I'd like to recognize the title sponsor for this year's Saskatchewan Municipal Awards, Affinity Credit Union. We're very pleased to have them on board with the Municipal Awards for the 8th year. So please join me in welcoming Carla McGregor, business advisor with Affinity Credit Union, who is here to bring greetings from our sponsor and introduce the videos of the winning projects.
morning, everyone, and thank you for having me today. I'm Carla McGregor, and it's my pleasure to be with you as I proudly hail from a small farming community in northeast Saskatchewan. Shout out to RM Birkdale, number 426. Saskatoon is now home for me, and I've had the privilege of representing Affinity's Agricultural Lending Division for the last 15 years. Having grown up where I did, and now working with rural producers, I know firsthand the power and possibility of a strong community. I'm truly honored to be here today on behalf of Affinity Credit Union as the proud sponsor of the annual Saskatchewan Municipal Awards. I'd like to begin by expressing our deep gratitude for being able to gather here on Treaty 6 territory, traditional lands of the Cree, Dene, Lakota, Nakota, Dakota, and Saulteaux peoples and homelands of the Métis. We honor the ancestors of this place and reaffirm our commitment to our relationship with one another. At Affinity, we're very passionate about supporting municipalities, their residents, and their industry partners. As a cooperative financial institution, we exist because of and for our members, whose financial well-being is our first priority. Our members' deposits are all reinvested back into our local communities to support other members in buying a home, starting a business, growing their farm operation, or gaining an education. We're helping drive the Saskatchewan economy and making our province a great place to live. We proudly sponsor the Saskatchewan Municipal Awards because they demonstrate how local communities can come together to become even more vibrant, exciting places to live and do business. This aligns perfectly with our values at Affinity. Our hearts, business, and profits live right here in the province. Like these winning municipalities, we all share a common goal, a commitment to making a difference in the communities we live in. It is my pleasure to now introduce the winners of the Saskatchewan Municipal Awards. All of the winners will be announced, and then we will enjoy the videos of their winning projects. For the category of Top Urban Municipal Initiative, the winner is the City of Swift Current for their work on the Pluis Automotive Group Inclusion Park. Congratulations. For the category of Regional Collaboration, the winner is the Fire Chief, Emergency Measures Organization Committee, and Community Safety Officer Program. This program was completed by the Twins River District, which includes the towns of Duck Lake, Hague, Hepburn, Rostern, and Waldheim, and the rural municipalities of Rostern, number 403, and Duck Lake, number 463. Amazing collaboration, you guys. Congratulations to all of you. For the category of Top Rural Municipal Initiative, the winner is the RM of Inniskillen for the Grazing Project. Well done, RM number 3. Our final award is for the category of Top Municipal Initiative. The winner of this award goes to the town of Bredenbury for their work on the Bredenbury Community Daycare. Your success is very well deserved. Congratulations, everyone. Now please join me in directing your attention to the screen to learn more about these winning projects. Thank you.
Bredenbury is an amazing small community.
We have lots of families living in our community.
We have amazing community events.
It's also a very diverse community.
It's a great place to call home.
Bredenbury needed a daycare because the parents were driving one way or the other way to take their children to daycare. Lots of parents couldn't find any daycare at all.
When we live in a small community, everyone works in multiple different areas. So finding a daycare where you work with someone that you trust is hard to find.
Having it in our small town allowed the parents to be able to drop their children off right in Bredenbury, not have to travel the roads, especially in wintertime.
We have children from all over. We have children from Bredenbury, from Yorkton. There are some from Langenburg, Churchbridge, Esterhazy, all over.
As far as we know, no municipality has owned a daycare before.
Our daycare has 38 spots right now. We actually have just gotten approved for 8 more spots. We have children from the ages of 6 weeks old all the way to 13 years of age.
This school was left abandoned basically by various owners over the years. About 5-6 years ago, we got it back through tax enforcement, and we said, hey, let's make something out of this. We figured out how we can maybe put the fire hall here instead of building a new building. We had a fitness center in the town office basement, and we thought, you know what, let's move it to the old school. We added on a Lions room, and we actually have a day spa here as well.
At that time, we had quite a young council. We all shared the same feeling that a daycare would be very beneficial to our community.
And then in the last 2-3 years, let's try a daycare.
There's lots of regulations that come with daycare, so windows needed to be lowered. We had to take out walls, add walls, create kitchens, flooring, plumbing, create bathrooms where there wasn't bathrooms.
We got a hold of the local MLA. He was very supportive. They just amended the code a bit, and we are one of the most recent daycares that is allowed to have infants.
We try having an environment that is a home-like setting, that is play-orientated.
As a parent of children who get to experience this daycare, I just have so much gratitude.
People are moving out of other smaller towns and moving to Brandbury because we have the daycare.
I work in Yorkton, so I drive half an hour every day, and I was previously going to a daycare in Yorkton. I loved my provider there, but it's very nice not to have to drive on the highway.
We follow the children's wants and needs. They learn without even knowing they're learning.
If we didn't have community support, we wouldn't have a daycare. People gave money, people gave toys. They just thought it was a great idea.
We had our director here at early times, and she was doing amazing things from the beginning.
It's all thanks to Kim. She is the backbone of this community, and she is the one that pushes forward and does these things.
We hear lots of feedback of, I can't believe we have a daycare.
Bye, Mom. You'll see me on TV. I'm 4, then I just need one more, then I'll be fine. Me and Maddie live in Benbury together. Mommy, see me.
We are an RM on number 18 highway, right up against the U.S. border.
Our community is pretty tight-knit.
Very much a farming community.
Neighbors help neighbors.
And it's a great place to live. The RM, through an estate sale, acquired a section of very marginal land, but it has a ton of gravel on it. We were paying royalty on gravel, and by buying the property from the estate, we were able to circumvent paying that royalty and ensured that we will have gravel for several generations.
The RM had bought the land because of a gravel pit, and then this land came with it, and so now what do we do with it?
In the world of livestock, land is your most limited and most expensive resource. So it stands to reason that you should maximize the productivity and therefore the return on investment in that resource.
I got involved with this program because of the planned grazing, which was what we do at our ranch. It simplifies where the cows are, where they got to go. Mostly it's for the soil health, and it's been improving year after year after year.
My husband and I and his parents and our children are regenerative ranchers, and so this really piqued my interest.
Overgrazing was if you had 20 cows in a quarter section and you added one more cow while you were overgrazing it.
We decided that we had to make some changes at our place, and regenerative ag checked a lot of boxes for us.
I know in my ranch we've tripled the grazing capacity of it, and our grass is still better than what it ever has been.
The Canadian Forage and Grassland Association is national voice for forage and grasslands. Across Canada, we were able to allocate some dollars for research towards their project. We funded all the barbed wire fencing, the alleys, and portable fencing unit to help with dividing the pasture into paddocks.
We're working with the Government of Saskatchewan and the Ministry of Agriculture through their water well drilling program. We are going to have to pipeline that well all over the quarter section.
The cows will be stocked with fresh water. They don't have to go into dugouts.
We're looking at carbon capture. We're looking at native prairie that we're going to be able to sustain, and we're still going to be able to supply gravel for our ratepayers.
In the spring, the RM had talked about reaching out to different researchers in the province to learn more about getting people to do projects at this site because it's such a unique site, especially in this corner of the world.
The renters coming up can just walk in. They don't have to worry about fencing. They don't have to worry about water.
If we can scientifically show that you can get more pounds of gain out of the same acres of land by managing it differently, then everybody's going to benefit.
The municipal council were supportive right from the beginning, and they wanted to see that native prairie be able to stay.
We're just trying to showcase using animals to build soil, to help the environment, protect waterways.
You are benefiting your ratepayers as far as research, you're benefiting your ratepayers as far as having the opportunity to graze their cattle close to home.
I think it is going to really shed a lot of light on what we as producers can be doing.
The city of Swift Current is a small city in southwest Saskatchewan.
Lots of cultural activities, lots of sporting activities.
19% of the city itself is parks and green space.
We're the hub for about 50,000 people from surrounding areas.
Councillor Pluis has had a real desire in his heart to have an inclusive playground in our community for a number of years beforehand.
At recess, I would just sit on the sidelines and watch the kids play.
There was room for an additional park within the city of Swift Current. Not just any park, but a park that was maybe a little bit different than some of the others.
And when he presented it to myself and to council, we sort of all got behind it.
We just felt that this was a really great way to share with the community at large in as broad a way as we could.
The city looked at some land on the south side that the province owned, and of course they wanted to sell it to us, and we didn't have the money to buy it. And so the province agreed to give us a long-term lease, 2 30-year leases, so for a total of 60 years for $1 a year, and the federal government gave us a grant. Pluis Automotive Group gave the city the $100,000 when we first started construction, and it gave us enough money to build what we have now.
I'm really proud of the community consultation that Michael Newell and Nicole put into play. We actually had a really great turnout.
I even made a slideshow with all of the things I wanted to add to it. And the majority of the things actually did get added to it, which is nice.
We did our homework and looked at some other accessible playgrounds around the province to see how they were built.
In Saskatoon, there were these truly accessible parks, and I was like, oh, we need that here.
My favorite is the swing and the merry-go-round.
We also have communication boards for verbal and nonverbal communication, and also for language barriers. There is musical elements. There's also hide and seek elements too. Our inclusive washroom has the first adult change table in our community, and we believe Southwest Saskatchewan.
I think it's great that they decided to build it now.
The best way that you can see the results in it is to see the smiles of the kids and the laughter.
I believe that recreation plays a key importance in building community.
It's awesome. I get to hang out with my friends. I get to go there at lunch hours.
The experts are not the engineers and not us people in government. The children that are using the park are the actual experts.
We see individuals who maybe have never got to go on a merry-go-round and the smiles that light up on their face.
We had our opening in September of 2023, and I felt like we were opening something for a rock band.
This spectacular park that you see before us today has been a vision for many community members for a very long time, and we are thrilled to get to see that vision come to a reality today.
It's very exciting to get to see it happen.
I've got 3 young daughters who just show up with a smile and disappear running off into the equipment.
I truly think we were able to build a space that meets the needs of the community.
I want to thank the province and the federal government for all they've done for us.
Thank you to our partners, especially the Pluis Automotive Group.
I wanted more than just me to use it. It was about everybody, not just me.
Thank you to everyone who made the park become this park.
The Twin Rivers District came into play approximately around 2008. We are 5 urban municipalities and 2 rural municipalities, and with some peripheral involvement over the years with our neighboring First Nations.
This Twin Rivers has been going for quite some time, and we've worked together on a lot of other projects.
This began with the idea of these municipalities to combine and work together to maybe come up with some collaborative and regional projects that could benefit everybody.
We found that our numbers in our fire hall were declining, and we were just needing some leadership. We came together to hire a 3/4-time fire chief.
When I got into this position, I was looking for some leadership and some help, so I reached out to Dane and how we're going to make it happen and who we're going to include, and we decided the best game forward, right, was a team game.
Yep. Community Safety Officer is a special constable under the Saskatchewan Police Act. It's a high priority, low risk program where we can assist local law enforcement like the RCMP or Highway Patrol or other agencies.
We had bylaw officers before that were okay, but this seems to be more official and he's got more authority.
The program can be in any community within Saskatchewan.
It's beneficial for lots of municipalities to share resources to try and mitigate costs.
We can do traffic stops. We also investigate municipal bylaws, animal neglect, animal abuse.
It took a pile of time and paperwork. I guarantee that he spent many hours in the office trying to get this off the ground.
I know that having a paid position to be able to assist and help in the community here is vital.
We're also able to do like scene security and go to the hospitals when needed.
One will have a specialty in this and one will have a specialty in that, or a truck that's more favorable for this or favorable for that.
The RCMP can focus on the more serious crimes.
Elected people, they can be around for a few years or they can come and go, but you absolutely have to have top-notch investment in key administration.
The administrators of all the 7 municipalities are the leaders of each of their municipalities. So without their support working together, they would not be able to get their councils on board.
When we get called into mutual aid and to other communities, it's so vital now that those personal relationships are being built.
It's one thing to have a good truck, but you need really good people to be ready to go out and attend to emergencies.
Your volunteer departments are equally as trained as a lot of full-time departments.
I think the biggest challenge was trying something different.
Without his support right off the hop, this wouldn't have happened.
Old mentalities of doing things on your own just don't work, especially in smaller communities.
When the sirens go off, so to speak, we know that we've got top-notch people ready to help out.
I'm very confident in my team, I'm very confident in my crews to be able to handle the emergencies that are brought forward to us.
It's a great program that we're operating, and it'd be great in any other community.
All right, thank you so much, Carla. Can we just get another round of applause for the video that we just watched? We appreciate Affinity's support for these awards. It's wonderful to see the interesting and innovative things going on around Saskatchewan, and the SMAs are a great way to celebrate these initiatives with municipalities from across the province. So congratulations to everyone who submitted a nomination this year. Keep doing the great work, and of course you can visit the Saskatchewan Municipal Awards website at municipalawards.ca to learn more about the program, get more details about the winning projects from this year and previous years, and also we do encourage you and suggest to start preparing your nominations for next year's awards. Thank you. Thanks everyone for celebrating with us this morning with these awards, and again, a final reminder, for the winners, please make your way to the convention office to receive your awards and have photos taken. Are my stars friends here? Oh, hi. Okay, there they are. We're going to move along. A quick note, I worked at STARS for about 6 months, so I just love working with this great crew, and I'm happy to see them here. At SARM, we value the role STARS Critical Care plays for our municipalities. As always, it's a treat to hear an update about STARS. Please welcome Tammy Beauregard of STARS to the stage for a short presentation.
Well, thank you, Sabine. Always great. And you all are very familiar with who I am, I think. So yes, it's me again. I'm sure you would like to see other people come up here and speak and give you the update. And in November, we'll have somebody else up here, our new CEO, so that will be great for all of you to meet with him. So first of all, just want to say thank you very much for having us here once again. It's really important for us to come out and be able to share with you what the update is and the impact that you all are making on STARS. And while you guys see us and stop by the booth during the past 2 days and seeing Sherry and myself, it's great to be able to actually show you some footage and for you guys to see one of our very important patients. So we will have one of those videos, so you have about 2 minutes to get some tissue out if you need. Okay, so I don't have a clicker, so next. Oh. This is what we were talking about. Tammy was going to have to say next. All right. There we go. So this is our year in review. So as you can see there, the STARS Emergency Link Center, so that's the dispatch center, so over 37,000 calls are being put through to STARS that are critically ill or injured patients. It doesn't mean that those are the ones we're flying to all the time, and that's in Western Canada, so Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Alberta, in our 6 bases. But we are still on the phone, our transport physicians, and facilitating conversations with the health professionals or the EMS on the other end of the call to be there for that patient. Our missions in the 3 provinces is just about 4,000, so 3,927, and 1,025 of those are right here in Saskatchewan, so based out of Regina and Saskatoon. So that's, 3 calls a day in just Saskatchewan that we are going out to. It costs us $11.4 million, and that was last year's. I will be honest with you guys and say that our number is now $12.2 million to operate our base, each base, every year. And that's just the same as everyone else in this room and everyone else in the world. Inflation and things go up. Costs go up. So let's see on what you have done to help impact STARS over the last 13 years. Well, we've gone to 11,000 missions, we've pioneered Blood on Board, we've launched community outreach programs, we piloted, now we have Wi-Fi in our helicopters that we can transmit right away. We have the butterfly ultrasounds that plug into your phone so that we can share that with the receiving doctor. They can see what's happening. We have the hemorrhaging protocol, so in most cases it's been the doctor, the trauma doctor, that has been able to administer a drug that can stop the hemorrhaging. Now our crews can do that as well. And that's the training that's going behind. So when you're donating to STARS, you're donating to our innovation and to our training that we bring right into your communities. So let's just talk a little bit about that and what's happened over the last few years. So, as you know, and we're very, very grateful that in the last, over the 13 years, our RMs have been growing and supporting to us, and that you either give a $2 levy or you give a voluntary straight donation to STARS, and which is absolutely amazing. So we know that there's, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's still 296 RMs in the province. Perfect. Phew, I got that fact right. And so in 2022, we had 204 people, or RMs, supporting. Then we had a little bit of a drop in 2023. Then it went down to 184. And now we're back up to 196. And then we have 3 more that have just joined on as well that are new RMs that have joined on to support us. And we can't thank you enough for these partnerships that you have put us in your budgets or that you're renewing. We really hope that, and I know some of you were able to come out to the open house. Anybody that wants to know more, if you want to have a tour, you're always welcome. You have Sherry's contact, email, and phone numbers. You guys call her anytime. And come on out and see where your dollars are going. Ask us questions. We're asked, so besides coming out and saving lives or being there for those patients and families, how else are you giving back to the communities? Well, this is a prime example. And just as all of you, being on council or part of your RMs, that are there to help sustain and grow your communities, so we have rural community, which is super important. We don't want to lose that. We too at STARS want to be there to help sustain and grow your communities and keep people in your communities. So we travel over 60 times a year to each of the communities around Saskatchewan, and we train them in either landing zone or outreach of education for so simulating our medical procedures, and then other events that happen throughout the year. Your hospitals or health professionals are able to phone us and say, hey, we need a little extra training on a few things here, whether it's trauma, obstetrics, airway, that sort of thing. We can come out and help, or they can come into our base and do that. And there isn't a charge. That's part of us all doing this together, and your donations going into that to help your community stay there. We also think that it's important when we can come out and you can sustain your health professionals in your community. I'm just going to flip through this real quick and just give you a visual on what some of the equipment is that we actually have. So this iStat lab, it helps your hemoglobin. It can take your blood panel in 2 minutes, which usually takes, I think when you go to the blood clinic, you usually get them back within a week, maybe a few days, but this will do it within just 2 minutes. And they can tell what kind of prescription, what kind of medicine needs to go in and what's happening. We have our ventilators. We'll do some training in the rural areas for ventilators if they need as well, but we do have our ventilator that is on about half of our missions. So if we have 1,000, about 500 or more people are needing to be on a ventilator, the people that are in there. We have blood on board. We carry 4 units, 2 units of O negative and 2 units of O positive. If anybody is O negative or positive, please feel free to go and donate today if you can. Then we have the video laryngoscope, which will help with airway, so when they need to intubate somebody, that they can see it, and it's just a bit quicker for everyone to get through that. This ESO drill, I never want to see that thing. That drills right into your bone to help put your IV in. It's very graphic. I don't really ever want to see that happen. The ultrasound, that's what I was talking about, that it plugs right into your phone. It's so amazing that that can be transmitted to the doctor right away. And then we have over 50 different pain management drugs, including a stroke drug that we can administer. So all of those are real technical skills of what we do and the equipment that you help us be there. But this is where you need to get out your tissue. For the most important, we are all there for the patients. All of us, every one of you that is in this room. And Sean Rickards in our video, him and his family couldn't thank you enough.
We do have EMS responding, STARS has been dispatched as well to your area.
That morning when I went to work, I had no idea I was going to need STARS that day.
Mission accepted STARS has accepted for weather. They have been dispatched.
The day of the accident, it was cool, fall setting in, and time is of the essence. There was a storm coming in, so you've got to push to get the job done.
We sort of just started the day like we normally do. Sean is gone. I've done some office work, go downstairs to do my workout, come upstairs, and then the phone started ringing.
The initial call was for a high mechanism, it was a loader versus a semi. We didn't really have a lot of information other than somebody was trapped.
I was pinned between the truck and the excavator. 18 tons of truck and 20 tons of excavator. I was broke within probably a millimeter of my life.
I was told that there's been an accident and the ambulance is there and they couldn't tell me what was going on, and I just remember saying, well, is Sean okay?
The day in question, it was just a little bit lower weather than we like to see. Nothing we wouldn't be able to fly in, but definitely a day that, fundamentally as pilots, we like to say you want to stay close to home if you can.
Flying a helicopter in enticing conditions is a very dangerous situation. We want to avoid that at all costs.
When the dispatch came in for the Grandview Hospital, that's a 156-mile trip, and that's a fair distance to have to cover in weather like that.
It wasn't just a straightforward fly to the patient and fly home. It was going to be tough both on the aviation side and the medical side.
So when we pulled into the hospital, we were driving past a lot of the workers that we know. Nobody would look. Nobody would make eye contact with me, and I think that's when I knew that this wasn't something minor.
They rushed me to Grandview. Thankfully, there were 3 doctors there that morning, and they were able to keep me alive till STARS got there.
I remember the helicopter coming in, and I remember looking at it thinking, this is our answer. This is what's gonna hold our family together. If they can get him there, then I think we'll be okay.
When we got to Sean's bedside, his vital signs were critical. He had 2 collapsed lungs and it was affecting his heart. I thought his chance of survival to Health Sciences Center was about 10%.
I honestly didn't think we were going to leave the room. I didn't think the patient would survive for us to even put him in the helicopter.
One of the waiting rooms in the hospital faces a field, and that's the field that we share with our K-12. And I could see our 2 boys playing basketball, and I just thought they have no idea. I couldn't process the fact that I'm watching my kids enjoy what could be the last moment of their childhood that they know. I remember that helicopter lifting off and thinking that is the most precious cargo that they will ever have.
So on the way back to Winnipeg, I believe he got a total of 6 units of blood.
My hands were constantly moving. We were constantly trying to manage both his blood pressure and his oxygen levels with our ventilator, along with blood and many other medications to help keep his blood pressure up. At the same time, trying to keep him comfortable.
At one point, Daryl chimed in the back and he said, we might have to land in Portage. We might not be able to get to Winnipeg and we'll have to arrange a ground ambulance. I just impolitely said that this patient would not survive if we had to stop in Portage. And then the weather cleared and we had the opportunity to get all the way to Winnipeg, which was amazing.
We fought to get to him. The bystanders fought to get him to the hospital, Grandview Hospital, and all their staff, fought to keep him alive. We fought to keep him alive all the way back to Health Sciences Center.
I had a lot to fight for, and I just thank STARS give me the opportunity to fight for it.
There's not really words in the English language that can portray how thankful and how appreciative not only myself, but my children, our entire family, how vital their role was that day to just keeping our lives together. It had the chance to explode our little bubble, everything we've ever known.
A mission like this is the reason why I joined STARS.
You only have to meet one family. You only have to see one patient on scene struggling for their lives to really realize just how important the work is that we do and how vital it is to everybody around us.
You never know what the day is going to bring or what might happen. You have no idea. So donating to STARS is essentially donating time. You are giving somebody time to get to the hospital. There's all sorts of things that that money can buy, but money can't buy time.
You guys have, you give me my family back. You know, you don't realize how fragile life is until you have a scare like this. You take every day for granted that you get up, you put in a full day and do everything that you can, and that you'll be coming home. And I had no idea that day would change my life forever. And you guys have brought me back from
missing everything.
From everything being gone, yeah.
So on behalf of Sean, and I know Sean and his family are, you know, as it says, in Grandview and in Manitoba, but those things happen here in Saskatchewan too, as we know. So on behalf of them and all of our patients, thank you for everything you guys have done over the last 13 years. And with that, look at this number. It's amazing. I told you in November that you guys would get over 5 million, and you did. Congratulations. Thank you. It's amazing on what you guys do, and know that when you do this as an RM and when you allow us to be up here, you're allowing other individuals to see and feel, and your voices are heard. So thank you. So who wants to win some money today, though? So we can do green first if you want. Yeah, if you want to do that. I usually let them, so you can take charge of the number.
So I hear that we do this in a knockdown style. So if you have a green ticket, I'll get you to stand up. And as we announce the number, if you keep matching, stay standing. And the second you don't have a matching number, we'll sit down. And the amount, the winner takes that? Yeah. The winner will take home $2,342.50. You want me to grab, you want me to? All right. I'm never tall enough to do the draw, so. All right. So this again is the green ticket. 2, 6, 9, 7. Oh, I'm so sorry. 1. Oh. 0, 7. And the winning ticket must be in the room. So the number again is 269. Yeah! All right, we're going to do the same thing with the red bucket. So if you have a red ticket, we'll get you to stand up. And the winner for the red ticket draw takes home $2,292.50. That's fine. Okay. Okay. All right. So the first number is 3, 0, 2, 0. I'm hearing someone just keep saying yes. 4, 4, 9. So again, that's 302-0449. Uh-oh. If they're not here, they don't get the amount. One last time. Yeah! All right, 302-0449. There we go. Oh. I almost kept your money. All right, so we did have just a little bit of a glitch with the other municipal award videos that we were showing, so we're going to show those right now, and then we're going to do the bidder and raffle draw. So take it away. Thanks so much, Tammy. Thanks. Oh.
it's beneficial for lots of municipalities to share resources to try and mitigate costs.
We can do traffic stops. We also investigate municipal bylaws. We use
It took a pile of time and paperwork. I guarantee you that he spent many hours in the office trying to get this off the ground.
I know that having paid positions with assistant health community here is helpful.
We also do scene security and go to the hospitals when needed.
One will have a specialty in this and one will have a specialty in that. Or a truck that's more favorable to this or favorable to that.
The RCP focus on more serious crimes. You know, people they can be around for a few years or they can come and go, but you absolutely have to have top-notch investment in key administration.
The administrators of all the 7 municipalities are the leaders of each of their municipalities. So without their support working together, they would not be able to get their councils on board.
When we involve into choice and to other communities, it's so vital to have those personal relationships with those.
It's one thing to have a good truck, but you need really good people to be ready to go out and attend to emergencies.
The volunteer departments are equally trained as a lot of full-time departments.
I think the biggest challenge was trying something different.
Without his support, this wouldn't have happened.
All municipalities are doing things on their own, just don't work, especially in smaller communities.
When the sirens go off, so to speak, you know that we've got top-notch people ready to help out.
I'm very confident in my team, very confident in Curtis to be able to handle emergencies and Black Fortress.
It's a great program that we're operating and be great in the community.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna get Rusty to come up and help with the bitter end raffle. But you know what? First, we'll do the SARM Challenger winners. So, again, if you haven't gotten to the app, again, it's available on your web browser on your phone. If you just search app.sarms.ca, and you can check out the app that way to take part in the challengers for the annual and the midterm convention. So the winners for this one: 3rd place, Dale R. from the RM of Redberry, number 435.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. 2nd place, Eugene S., RM of Redberry, number 435. And 1st place, Stephanie R., RM of Redberry, number 435. So congratulations to them. And now it's time for the bitter end raffle. Rusty, where are you? Okay.
They also have to be here to win this.
You have to be here to win this draw. So if you hear your name, go to the convention office.
Yeah, we'll come up here and make sure we have a winner.
Oh, come up here to make sure we have a winner, and then head to the convention office for it. Okay, so the first name is Sheldon Mattis.
Not here.
No? Okay. Kimberly Markison. Yay! Okay, we have one. And then we have one more winner. Rodney Reeder. Rodney Bueller. Okay. There's Thank you for laughing. Okay. Wes Cairns. Oh no. RM 317. Wes Cairns.
I gotta stop digging in the bottom, maybe.
Okay. Okay. Ernest Dobson. RM 121. Oh no. Oh, yay. All right, Ernest and Kimberly.
Come on.
Congratulations. Come on up.
And then now you can adjourn.
And that's it. So thank you so much for joining me this year. Thank you for being so kind with me and appreciative of that. Please drive safe, and we'll see you again at the midterm convention in November. Thank you. Okay. It is not our fault that those videos didn't play.